All right, everybody. Oh, happy day. I hope you're doing phenomenally well. I'm here with Anthony. My goodness, amazing man. Joined me a little while ago in the agency. We partnered together, and my goodness, $13,478 of working all within 3 weeks, not even full-time, part-time. Crazy proud of Anthony. Absolute beast on the phone, sponge, just phenomenal. So I appreciate you, Anthony, coming on today and doing this interview with us. Thank you for coming and for all your hard work. I mean, you do a lot of good work, and I'm crazy proud of you. So Anthony, say hey, share with us your background. I mean, before you came here, you've gone to how many different agencies would you say that you've experienced in your journey?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, I'm thankful for you, Jason. You're very pivotal to my success here. Very, very thankful. But I started insurance back in 2019. I kind of learned about the industry from the by and by. I learned about a friend. Worked at Ashley's Furniture, been in sales for about 7 years now. And I kind of learned about insurance through a captive agency. I started working there, did the face-to-face model, all cold calling referral system. You got to sell your close 100 people. You ever heard of that before? Your top 200. That's the fastest way to end up on the no friends list. But been insurance for about 3 years now. Finally made a transition to telesales about in early 2021. And it's been all uphill from there. All uphill. Or downhill, I think. I guess that's a good thing.
Right? And it's like the top 100 and the top 200. It's like, you're so right, where it's like, ooh, get ready to burn your friends on fire. Nobody wants to see it Thanksgiving. It's like, it's so brutal.
Yeah.
But a lot of agencies, though, will operate on that model, and it's not about value or leads. It's all about, hey, come on in. I'm going to make you captive. And there's nothing wrong with certain captive agencies. So the video isn't a poo-poo on that. Definitely something where they don't always have the same assets. They don't have the same cavalry. And when you were with that agency, for example, in the past, and you've been with a couple, and with that, when you were there, how was their training program in contrast? Would you say the biggest difference in contrast of where you're at now, and maybe the training that you've experienced in other agencies in your past? Yeah. What did that look like when you first started?
Well, definitely the training here is much more in depth. One thing that I noticed when I was working for that other IMO, that other agency, it was like a turn and burn system, where they recruit you, they teach you the very simple things, and they push you out. But having in this system, it's a lot more different. You're given certain scripts, certain different information that not only is information, but it's effective, and there's trainers here that not only give you the knowledge, but they have a little bit of understanding, a little bit of wisdom with that. They know where you're going to fail at. So it was a night and day difference from here versus other IMOs. That's why I believe I'm having a lot of success here above all.
Absolutely. I mean, to be able to make $13,478 part-time, there's a lot of folks that work 3 months straight and don't even get close to that. And it's just like absolute respect for your hard work. You're doing the heavy lifting, and it's not easy, right? It's like doing telesales. I wouldn't say it's easy when you're highly skilled like you are, and you're such a good agent doing what you do, and your heart for your clients and folks that you're around. That's huge. I mean, there's some folks that work, you made $4,800+ in a single week part-time. And there's some people that work in just W-2 mindset, and they don't make anywhere close to that. And they're working 40 hours a week every time. And for you, what was your feeling when you first, went part-time and you're making what you did in just 3 weeks? What was going on in your mind, in your heart, with your family?
I mean, the biggest thing too, when the companies would start paying the next day and then the next Friday, I mean, the money started rolling in. The first thing I thought was like, wow, I'm really doing it. I think every agent, when you come into the insurance industry, you hear these pipe dreams of what you can accomplish and what you can do. But there's a disconnect of actually doing it. So when I actually started to accomplish those goals and hit those milestones, I mean, it was, it was really, really amazing, and there was also something dangerous behind it too, though, because when I started having success, you start getting complacent a little bit, you start taking your foot off the gas pedal a little bit. So I had some challenges there, but above all, it was really great feeling. And it kind of showed me what I can do full time in the industry if I was to put my time in it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing that. I love your transparency. And I think all of us can be guilty. Anybody can. It's like none of us arrive. And I try to get that across in my content where it's kind of like insurance is like, we got to have our foot on that gas pedal going up that hill. And the moment we take our foot off that gas, it's like we all go from hero to zero. Doesn't matter if it's you or if it's me. It's like everybody, it's like every week we all start fresh. And it's like the moment that I rest on maybe what I did in my past, the moment that I quit working on anything, it's like it pushes me back. And I love, the honesty on our team and the camaraderie and the culture. And you've experienced other cultures, working at different places. And with the culture that you've experienced in our agency where we all work together as a team, is it any difference in culture than maybe you've experienced at other places where it was more, just different? What was your experience?
Well, culture is a huge thing, especially if you're working in a company, in the home, everywhere. Culture is, life really, because working at other IMOs, believe it or not, they actually had really good culture for the most part. It's culture that'll get you excited, make you feel involved. But again, there was a disconnect of that culture and actually things cultivating for the agent. It was like surface level culture. It looked good on the outside, but when you really get close to it, it's like a mirage in the desert. But for example, this culture here is very straightforward. It's very encouraging. The help is always there, and if whatever agent needs, there's individuals in this in this group that's willing to do it, willing to get it to you. So the culture here has been very encouraging. Straightforward, straight to the point. And it's a culture where, a agent can plug themselves in and reach their goals, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day is you producing, and that's definitely been the culture that I've received for being here so long, for this period of time.
Absolutely. And it's nice to know that, you've got a culture where it's profitable, right? It's not just all smoke, no fire. And it's like, I get that. It's like, sometimes it's like you got that rah, and it's like steroids, but there's no strength. It doesn't allow the agent force to be able to really accomplish something like you have. And it's like, you did the heavy lifting, you did the work, but you also really put yourself into learning and to just being who you are. As one thing I remember, I hope you remember in training where you and I went through the telemastery program, I was like, hey, nobody's my sock puppet. You got to be the best version of yourself. And you absolutely have. Yeah. And because you've got to be the best version of who you are and to bring that light out when you're on the phones or even face to face, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
you've always been good about that. Yeah, I don't want a bunch of clones. I want the best of who you are. And you brought that forward with results, and results matter. The rah-rah is great. I mean, we try to do a little rah-rah, right? Who doesn't like a little rah-rah? But if you're rah-rah and no money's happening, that's not real great. I don't think your wife would be too happy, would you?
No, not at all. Not at all. All that noise and no production, it just doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. And when you went, because you've done a little face-to-face action before too, would you describe a big difference from transcending from the face-to-face to the telespace as far as what benefits it provided to you and your family?
Yeah.
What, if you wouldn't mind sharing for the audience, have you experienced as a telesales agent compared to like a face-to-face work?
Yeah. I was face-to-face for about, almost a year. I did okay face-to-face. I did well, but something I realized over time is the amount of energy and effort I was putting in face-to-face. I kept asking myself, is there a greater way? Out there you'll meet nice people, but the level of no-shows, the amount of money you put in gas, the amount of energy I was exerting, I just kept asking myself, is there a more excellent way? And when the pandemic hit, like every agent had the experience, it was life-changing. Everyone had to make adjustments, so it was really either adapt or die. So I really had to find myself I had to find a way where I can get in front of clients at a faster pace and create a system or find someone with a system that I can plug into and have success that probably was over the phone and not face to face. Because last year in 2020, that ceased for a couple months. Some agents still did it, of course, but for me, I had to stop doing it. So the transition was very smooth, though, very, very smooth. And things I learned from face to face definitely transitioned over to telesales. I don't doubt that at all. Me personally, I enjoy the telespace a whole lot more.
Absolutely. You no longer have to have the sticky hands, I'm guessing, from Purell.
Yeah. The cat piss homes, God bless, great people, but it's just, it's definitely sometimes tough environments.
Do you remember the smells from face to face? Face to face. Do you remember those smells, those distinct smells when you came home?
I mean, distinctly. Sometimes I had to, even stop at a truck shop and take a shower or something. That's what it feel like, but I had some crazy experiences, just like any other agent would face to face. But man, I tell you.
Sure. It's so funny. I was like, the windshield time. I mean, it's definitely, I would say there's more slack time. I don't know if you'd agree with this in your experience of face to face, where there's a little bit more downtime where you're not being productive, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to listen to some tunes or eat some McDonald's or watch some YouTube or, there's more time on the face-to-face side, because that was pretty my productivity for my experience. Would you experience that as well, where there's a lack of that?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, something I've learned, this has been like a revelation to me almost. So being a face-to-face agent, there is a lot of downtime between driving. For example, you have set dial days. After you complete your dial days, what are you doing with your time? There's a lot of downtime. But when I transitioned into a telesales agent, I actually learned that I actually had to be a lot more focused and more methodical with how I plan my day. It took so much more planning and so much more execution being a telesales agent versus a face-to-face, not to be scared about, but it was something I had to own and walk in. I have to be more methodical, have more intention, and that same why, my why that I would go face-to-face, that would push me to door knock those homes. I have to use that same why to hit these, 300-400 dials if necessary, so that's one of the biggest things I learned too.
Absolutely. And you've always been comfortable being uncomfortable. You've always done the hard things, even in training. When we trained together, you were always good about, let's do the hard things because I'm ready to go. And it's like a lot of folks, they don't want to do the hard things. They want everything to kind of happen, but you've got to be willing to want it. And I love the fact that, you're so in tune with your why, which allows you to push through, those deep things that other people may not. It's like you can go part-time and just you work like with everything that's in you. And it's like that compartmentalization, would you say that discipline that you've learned and you have ingrained in you from your family and those that have loved on you in the past in mentorship, has that like directed you a little better and maybe fine-tuned you, maybe making you a little faster? Or would you say that has any part in your success? Or what would you say that aspect, like, did it hold you back? Did it push you forward?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Definitely. Just like anything in life, it was like line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. It kind of took me some time to get to this place. First thing I'll say is it took some failures, it took some me failing to realize what goes in and what I need to do to have success in this space, to become more disciplined. Really, I had to get more and more comfortable with myself. I had to die daily to myself, especially you have mornings where you'll have a really good day. You might sell, 2,200 AP or whatever. And then the next morning you wake up, you see that money deposit. And some people may think, okay, that's motivating. Some people like myself at the time, you kind of, you relax a little bit, you kind of get more undisciplined. But I've realized just how hard work is compounding. Laziness is also compounding. If you have those days where you're not really giving it your 110%, it's going to show in your business. Vice versa, if you have those days that you're giving 110%, it's going to show in your business. So those are things I've learned over time. Individuals and mentors like yourself can tell me, Anthony, this is what you need to do. That's good knowledge. But until a person has wisdom and understanding behind what they're doing and what they're doing it for, they'll never really get to where they got to go. So that wisdom kind of been added onto me with all the failures and where I fell short. So through me doing that, I kind of understand now, okay, for me to be successful, I need to sit my butt down at 9 o'clock and don't get up. If I'm gonna have lunch, pack the lunch, put it right here on the table, eat here. When I'm done eating, back on the phones. I need to be focused on and disciplined to get to the goals, to where I want to reach. So it definitely has helped me over time.
I love that. And I hope anyone watching is taking some notes because he's dropping some nuggets of wisdom. Okay. Whether you're face to face or in the telespace, that is gold. I appreciate you sharing that with the audience. And it's so vital. It's like you're reaping what you're sowing. You really are. It's like if you get a little lazy, it's easy to lick that little lollipop of mediocrity. It's so simple. I mean, it's simple to do it. But having the wisdom that you possess to say, nope, that ain't going to happen. This is what I want to do. You're just such a strong, leader and just such a great agent that loves his clients and loves what he does. And to focus with that level of focus, that really separates you from a lot of other folks that don't have that kind of discipline and wisdom. And I appreciate you sharing that with the audience. That's solid. That really is. And, I know a lot of folks, they've been shined on sometimes at different IMOs or agencies, like, oh, we're here to support you, but yeah, see you, hope you make it. Like, I don't know, I almost envision it like a lifeguard in a pool. It's like you think you've got a mentor, you think you've got somebody that is there to help you or serve you, and then you get shined on and brought in, and it's like, yeah, there's a piece of contract, hope you make it, bud, see ya. When you need something in the agency or need something from me or you need anything, how long is your normal response time before you get an answer?
It's very, very quick. It's actually quite shocking to this day. I remember I needed a phone number to an insurance company, and it was like early morning, and I got a response time in less than 30 seconds. And I'm like, there's no way this guy's up this early, So, definitely the resources are literally at your fingertips here. And whatever you need, any agent, I would definitely recommend, consider this way, because this training, support, resources, it's been amazing so far, so I have no complaints.
And I think that's important for the audience to know, because a lot of times we just spitball anytime we do an interview. And I think it's important that, you have someone that is truly like boots on the ground with you. And that's why I love partnering with you and everybody else in the agency. I love how we just work together. And it's like, we're a team. And it's like, one person can be specialized in one thing, even part-time, and make crazy money. And we celebrate each other. It's not about Tarzan's beating their own chest, even though we've got some amazingly strong reps. You're one of them. Even what you're accomplishing is phenomenal. And it's fun to be, part of what we all do together as a team. And it's definitely, I hope, a lot different than what you've ever experienced. That's the plan with everything. And it's like, we're never in a place of perfection, but we strive for it in everything we do. And watching you just keep growing and growing and growing is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful.
And have you ever had these momentary places of doubt, like even when you're on the phones or when you've had that? Have you ever had these little demons come in and go, I don't know? Have you had that like most folks have? And what was your experience to kind of roll out of it?
Yeah, definitely. If you didn't have those, man, keep working, because you're going to get them, recently I had a $1,000 chargeback, and it was from a lady. We had a great conversation. She was an excellent client. And in my head, I thought she'll never cancel. She'll be on the books forever, and she cancels and she blocks the number, this, that, and the other. But I'm sitting there and I say, man, that sucks. Like, that really sucks, and I was down in the dumps, and I had to kind of take a moment away and refocus myself. And I almost wanted to tell myself, maybe this isn't it. Maybe I need to go look for something else. Maybe I'll look for a quote unquote, a real job, like some might have heard before. And it was funny because something just told me, and just keep dialing, just see, let's just keep dialing, and right after I keep dialing, boom, husband and wife, boom, rural neighbors, back to back, and I really make the money back, and I, get the charge back taken care of. And I was just like, man, like, this is why I'm in this business, to help people, and we understand that some business will fall off, but for the majority, I'm here to help people, and the conversation that I had with the woman, her mother just passed away, and she was looking for coverage, and she was thanking me that I was able to cover her her husband and her daughter here shortly. And the feeling that I got was so fulfilling. It was actually at that moment greater than me losing $1,000. I realized at that point, I realized it may not be all about the money. We're really changing people's lives and affecting people. Let me put my mindset towards that rather than just me, money, money, money. And when I did that, when I start calling and talking to people with the greater sense of purpose, it kind of changed the way I view this business. And it kind of changed the way I approach waking up in the morning and working, 9 to 6, 9 to 7,
I appreciate that. I mean, it's so tough sometimes for some agents to even understand adversity, right? They think it's unicorns and rainbows and you never experience any negative in the insurance industry. And it's like, wow, everybody just buys from you. And they do. When you use proven power scripts, you use different techniques, you can do amazing things to serve folks, and it's fulfilling. It is. And it's money will follow passion all day long. But at the same point, you'll have these little times of adversity, just like what Anthony experienced, and to have the courage to know that, you know what, I just got to keep doing more of what works. Because I've had these times even in my career, and I appreciate you sharing that, because like you got these little fleeting moments, and if you just keep leaning forward, all those little negatives go away, and you forget about that little chargeback that hit because you've got so much forward movement. And that's solid. The fact you got enough wisdom to know, okay, yeah, that hurt. Let's shake it off.
Yeah.
Almost like when I'm a kid and I knocked my knees down, I had to hop up and down a couple times.
Exactly. Keep pushing.
It's like, it didn't kill me. Hop up and down, boy. You're fine. My dad used to say that sometimes. I'm like, okay, here we go. Right. So it's fun, but it's, sometimes we take our licks every now and then, right? You got maybe a batch where you get a small little chargeback. And I know you've seen other agencies and how they operate. Is anything that you've ever been taught abrasive or a boxing match as far as objections? Because I know a lot of agents, like, you say this, I say that in their training. It's almost like the fighting nuns.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the training that we went through when I first came here, the biggest thing that I took away from it, because I've been in a lot of trainings for sales, and I sell furniture, appliances, supplements, I mean, you name it. So I was in a lot of types of sales training, and for the most part, they're all the same. But the training for this was a lot different for the telesales mastery. It was amazing because the science behind objection handling is a lot deeper than what we as salespeople think sometimes, or agents think. And learning that aspect of it and having a proven script to go over and agreeing, bringing the client's defenses down and overcoming the objection and moving along throughout the script. I may be giving too much secrets here, but it's amazing, and it's helped me tremendously. I wish I can show you. I have something here with just objection handling all over the room, because of that.
When you know what you're doing, right? It's like having something that's turnkey instead of having to think. And not like you're not super smart. You are crazy brilliant, but it helps, doesn't it?
It helps a lot. It helps a lot. It keeps you on the feet, keeps you a lot quicker, because when you don't have to think about something, it's a lot easier. When you have to think about it, you pause, you have to think about it. If your mind may be foggy, you might trip, stutter up. When it's right there in front of your face or right here on a computer screen, you can knock it out, respond to the client, and keep moving on, have more success. So that's one of the biggest parts too.
Now, I know when we did our Hell Day, right? Or
yeah.
What, Jason Day, was I soft or easy on anybody in the class?
You did what had to be done. You did what had to be done. I don't know if the word soft or easy even gives it justice. You grinded the point down so at such a fine point. We got the message. You kind of it's like a refiner, just someone taking a hammer and trying to straighten out a piece of metal when it's hot. You're trying to get that thing right. So that was very, very beneficial. And of course, to the agents, it was a little uncomfortable because I wasn't in such intimate training like that. But in the long run, it definitely benefited, because once you master role playing, you can do whatever you want. You can really have the success that you want once you master a fake scenario,
And you did such a great job. I mean, you went from the telemastery program to immediately writing business. And I think a lot of folks, they don't understand that they can do that because they maybe have joined an agency that says, hey, here's a free script. Go buy a bunch of leads. Hope you make it, bud. See ya. You know, if you need to talk to me, go try to, maybe I'll talk to you in a couple of days if I got time for you. And that's a difference, a big distinction in where we roll. The majority of our agents that go through the telemastery program, they all write business within their first 8 hours typically of buying leads and actually getting on it. And that's not normal compared to other environments. Because you're right, a lot of folks, you know, they do tend to fail out.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can, you know, and I think something that was big for me was, you know, because I actually didn't think that I can go full time or create a living income from this position. You know, it's something you do, but I don't think you truly understand what you're touching and what you have in front of you until you actually start to walk it out and your eyes are open like, whoa, I can really do something in this industry. I can really make a difference and really change the trajectory of my family and where we're going, you know. So that was it for me. You know, once I realized I can make a living doing this, you know, and more than living, it was a no-brainer for me. I had to go all in, you know. So that was me.
And the fact that you went part-time, right? Because a lot of agents think, oh, I can never make it going part-time. Well, I think you've done pretty well. You've done pretty well. And then to be able to go from part-time where you pushed yourself and did really great and, you know, burning the candle at both ends, crazy respect for you and your work ethic and your integrity and just everything that you are. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of character to work two things at the same time. You know, a lot of folks can barely handle one job, much less saying, you know what, I've got this, but I'm going to do this part-time until I can go full-time and go do it. Yeah. And that's what winners do. And you are one. And I know your family's proud of you, and I'm crazy proud of you and your hard work. And that's not what a lot of folks can do, because a lot of folks, that easy way out, you never took that easy way out. You're like, nope, I'm going to work hard. Let's go. I may not like this, but let's go. I know there's a purpose to this in training. Let's go. And then you got your leads, you part-timed it, you did a phenomenal success, and you never stopped. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people, I think they can be victim to the stopping. Definitely. I don't know that. Definitely. Or maybe have you shared, you know, experiences where that's happened to others?
I mean, yeah, you know, like, so when, you know, I was doing this part-time, and something that I realized was like, I may be doing this part-time, but my mindset's fully in. My mindset is a full-time mindset. I'm doing this part-time, but the amount of money I'm spending on leads is as if I was a full-time agent. That might sound crazy to some, but I wanted to make sure I didn't fail. I wanted to increase my odds of success. And one thing I learned is insurance is a numbers game. So I knew that if I put more, even though I'm part-time, I work very hard while I, you know, put my time into this, and I spend money as if I was full-time, you know, and, you know, part-time is still, you know, 20, 30 hours. Really, any chance I got, I was dialing, making phone calls, you know, getting it in. And, you know, I thank the Lord, because he really supplied everything that I needed. You know, I got the right clients. I got the best leads, quote unquote. There's no such thing, you know, really, is you have to work that lead and find out if they're good or not, you know. So the success came from me putting in that work, you know, and I don't take that lightly. You know, I'm still pushing to get where I want to go. You know, hopefully one day I can have my own agency and do what I need to do to, you know, build something massive and kind of make an impact, you know. So that's my goal.
And you're leader, you'll absolutely accomplish it. I have zero doubts. You will absolutely just explode, because when you've got a good core, when you've got a good work ethic, when you've got good character, that's going to allow you to do anything that you put your mind to. There's nothing you can't accomplish. You know, when you have got that mindset and that laser focus, nothing's going to hold you back. Nothing. I mean, it's going to be powerful for you. You watch what you're going to be in 3 years. It'll be insane.
That's the goal.
I mean, accomplished what you did part-time. People dream to do that full-time in some agencies. They do. They really do. And we've got good secret lead holes. That's for sure.
That's it. That is the truth. That is the truth.
And you've worked other agencies too, where maybe the agency has access to like your CRM. We won't say names, but have you experienced maybe a little bit of that, where maybe you got some leads that you're paying for and maybe everybody's got a little hand on them?
Yes, sir. You know, I definitely experienced that, you know, being with a couple of MOs where they supply leads and they may cut your contracts down, you know, great opportunity, but those leads may be 2, 3, 4 years old. They may be on a DNC list. They may be scrubbed to, it's just not, it just was just not something that I liked, and coming here and having the control of lead flow, lead purchase, and the resources, because I had no idea that I can accomplish lead wise what I can do here. I mean, it was amazing, because I always believed in leads. I would buy what I got to do. If it costs $20 a lead, I would pay it, and I would have the faith to flip it. But coming here, it's like my whole mindset has changed about leads. The lifeline of your business. And now I have a way, because the resources that were provided to me, that I can create, endless amount of leads, or I can purchase endless amount of leads, and I know their quality because I know where they're coming from. So it was life changing, definitely life changing. That's one of the biggest things for me too, is the lead flow. Biggest things.
Well, it's critical, right? If we don't have leads, we talk about it all the time together. It's like, we don't have leads, we don't get conversations, and leads provide you such leverage. And I always say comp's important, but the ability to capitalize on your comp and be able to do something with it is even greater, because I've had experiences where everybody's, all the leads going to the CRM, and, your manager's got to go, okay, here's your little daily portion. Like you're that, little guy saying, "Can I have a cup of soup, please?" And what, Bob Cratchit, or whatever the heck that was. It's been a while. But it's like they got to ladle them out. And the fact that you've got so much leverage to pull whatever you want to do from the leads, sounds like it helps you in a big way compared to your past.
I mean, definitely. When you can control the amount of leads you get, you really can scale up to a level that you don't really know, because this is uncapped. So I'm a big big believer that, like, I put money into my leads. Most of the money I get from my business, I reinvest into myself. And I believe that that's how I'm going to grow. And over the past couple of weeks, I just started to see my business increase. And it's fulfilling knowing that you have this level of control and you actually feel like an entrepreneur. This is really a business, so they're the lifeline of the business. Without leads, you're going to die in this business. And having the ability to create or buy or do different marketing tactics to get those leads that you weren't aware of before, I mean, it's awesome. It's truly an awesome thing.
And to have access to that is, it is freeing. I remember, if you got only one leg of your stool getting leads, it's like when that leg gets kicked out, you're flat on your britches. And I used to be that way, where it's like in my past life where I worked for a certain place, and it's like my only ability to get leads was through the one CRM that was owned by that company. And then it's like, if you're not doing certain things, or maybe you're not in all those meetings that they can't even legally require you to show up to, then they pull back and say, "You don't get any leads right now, sorry." And it's like, you're flat on your britches going, really? Now I got to call a bunch of 3-4-year-old stuff anyway. And the brand new leads that they say they give you aren't even exclusive in the first place. It's like eating stale bread, but you don't always know the difference of what a fresh lead and an exclusive lead looks like until you've tasted good, right? It's like, you're used to eating, if I'm used to eating hot dogs and then I've never tasted a steak, once I take a steak, I may not want to go back to the Bar S. And I'm not too proud to eat a good Bar S, by the way, buddy. Yeah, I like Bar S. Sorry. My wife's going to kill me for this. It's true. So, yeah, no, I love that. Leads seem like they're important to your success, but your leadership, the way you're leading your business, and, you no longer have a W-2 mind.
No, sir.
It seems like you're absolutely 1099 mind and grind, entrepreneurial based. You've taken, control of your business like you should, and just capitalized on it. I mean, how's your, if I don't mind prying, how does your wife and your family feel about your accomplishments? Just out of curiosity. I'm just curious.
Oh man, my wife is ecstatic. I'll even go as far as say she's sometimes mad because I'll work from 9 to 6, and then I'll come home and I'm relaxing, and she'll she works in a lab, so she works back and forth. She come home, she say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm done with work. I did what I had to do." And I said, "Look at the bank account." So it's definitely awesome. We have a lot of more time to spend together and do more things. I think the biggest thing I thought was, when I go independent, I have more time to myself. And that is true to a certain extent. Well, I learned that when you go independent, you actually have to work more than you did when you were W-2, because you want to be successful. You're not going independent just to stay at the same level you were when you were a W-2 employee. So learning how to balance that, but also having free time, free time where I can build my schedule. I can have appointments to this certain day. We can take a 3-day trip, get back, and I'm back on the road working, or back at home working. So it's been awesome. She really enjoys me spending time at home. She loves it, a little too much because I'm working, I'm dialing. She wants to go do stuff, and I say, hey, this is my dial time. You gotta, skedaddle, But for overall, it's been a blessing, definitely a blessing, and I just hope to keep growing from here. Yeah, definitely.
I love that. I love it when, the most important people to you, right, are proud of you, and they should be. And it's like having like they say, happy wife, happy life. There's truth to that. And it's like to have your wife see everything you're accomplishing. In fact, you're like, hey, go look at the bank account. Yeah, I'm gonna sit on this couch for a second. You earned it. It's like a lot of folks don't even realize, like, it's you and I both hit the roads before as face-to-face agents. We've got that shared experience. And would you say that the road time, like doing a full day of tele, how do you feel when you're done? Even when you slay it, at the end of your day, when you're sitting on your couch, is it pretty needed?
It's pretty awesome. I feel clean at home and relaxed, really. I mean, you might be mentally tired, your mouth maybe a little dry from talking, but it's not that bad. I have days where I would leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, just because I had an appointment 2 hours away, wouldn't get home until 8, 9 o'clock at night, and that's 4 to 5 days out the week, so you're definitely a road warrior, and your schedule's a whole lot different because you're still an independent worker face to face, but your schedule's a whole lot different, so it almost feels like two different positions doing the same job, but two different, just two different scenarios. It's interesting, interesting.
Oh, absolutely. No, I love that. And it's the best paying hard work, in my opinion. I mean, it is. And I think, would you say you feel that way too?
Definitely. I mean, this is, yeah, I wouldn't choose a different career path for nothing. When I was growing up, I wanted to play football or be a lawyer. Never would I thought I'd be an insurance agent, but I'm glad that I am. Very glad that I am.
And if you ever do the math, folks, 3 weeks at $13,000 of work, that's more than most lawyers. It is. That's more than most police chiefs. That's more than nurses with big degrees wiping up things that, oh, thank God we're not doing.
Yeah,
Man, Lord bless all you doing that hard work. Okay, I'm good. You just keep doing it. That's great. I'll sit on the phones and take care of sweet people with Anthony here, and we'll have fun together. So yeah, it's a journey. So I appreciate you, Anthony, coming on. Thank you for your hard work, by the way, and just crazy proud of you. Thanks for sharing with the audience your perspective. And anyone that ever needs help, reach out, jasonfinalexpense.com. See y'all later.